Since late 2014, Google Analytics has shown a drastic exponential rise in people searching the term flat Earth. The number of pages referencing flat Earth have also jumped from a meager few thousand results to the current figure of over 21 million, all in the space of a year and a half. So who is responsible for this rapid resurgence of the flat Earth concept? Alleged ex-NASA insider Matt Boylan calls it his movement and claims full responsibility himself. Poet and book collector Paul Michael Bales also feels he was the one responsible for this resurgence, while many others have pointed to video game designer Mark Sargent as being the real catalyst. In this video, I will show conclusive proof, beyond any reasonable doubt, who has actually been the most influential and responsible for the growth of the modern flat Earth movement. Every time I have publicly contested the claims of these three individuals, they accuse me of doing so out of ego, and say that I am creating division in the movement. First of all, defending my perspective and exposing flaws in their arguments is done out of respect for the truth, not my own personal aggrandizement. Secondly, they are all making the exact same claim as myself, so any amount of ego present in my claim is also equally present in theirs. And lastly, it is my contention that they are the ones creating division in the movement by purposely mixing truth and lies in typical controlled opposition fashion to muddy the waters, discredit the message, and deter neophytes from researching further. Please see the evidence we at IFERS have gathered regarding these individuals and other suspected controlled opposition shills in the Flat Earth movement, all linked in the description box below this video. To begin with, the simple answer to the question of who started the Flat Earth movement is no one. The Earth has always been flat, and there have always been people who knew this, spoke about it, and wrote about it. Ever since the advent of NASA, however, the Flat Earth concept has been mired in ridicule and nearly disappeared completely from human awareness. No pro-Flat Earth books had been published in approximately 50 years, and the only website about the subject was the Flat Earth Society, which treated the entire thing like satire and made several false claims about what Flat Earthers actually hold true. Back in 2008, long before Matt Boylan, Paul Michael Bales, or Mark Sargent were anywhere on the scene, I published a book and started a website called The Atlantean Conspiracy, which contained several articles about the truth of geocentricity and even quoted Charles Johnson, the former president of the International Flat Earth Research Society. At the time, I had already read Samuel Rowbotham and William Carpenter's old 19th century Flat Earth books, and though personally still on the fence regarding the shape of the Earth, I was confident they were correct about the location, or geocentricity, of Earth, so I wrote about it. In 2009, after watching Alex Jones interview and praise several NASA astronauts on his show, I wrote an article and sent a message to him and his producers about the moon landing hoax, and included a link to Samuel Rowbotham's Flat Earth book for them to read. Alex even mentioned this on air the next day, and called me a flat earther who thinks he's covering up some Atlantean conspiracy, the title of my book and website.
The Earth being flat, that's clearly ridiculous, though I've actually been contacted by some flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some Atlantean conspiracy.
For For the next several years, I continued writing books and articles about various conspiracies and worked on building a huge social media presence. By making multiple accounts, adding as many friends and followers as possible, joining and posting to as many groups and pages as possible, over the course of a few years, I began building up very large followings on Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, StumbleUpon, Pinterest, Sue, and many other sites. To give you an example of their efficacy, you can see here my main Google Plus account currently has over 135 million views, and my secondary one has over 87 million. Meanwhile, at this point, Matt Boylan, Paul Michael Bales, and Mark Sargent had still yet to make a blip on the internet radar. The first of them to mention Flat Earth was Matt Boylan, when he created his NASA channel on YouTube in mid-2011. He made a few decent videos exposing NASA image fakery, but his channel certainly did not contain many flat earth proofs or evidence, and there are more videos of him ranting about Axe deodorant, hookers on Tinder, his championship sexual prowess, and other irrelevant topics than there are exposing the flat earth. In short, anyone visiting his channel would not become a flat earther, and would more likely be turned off from the subject due to his manic ranting style and lack of factual content. In early 2014, I began writing my book, The Flat Earth Conspiracy, and came across Paul Michael Bales on Facebook, a recent flat earth convert who had been collecting a library of old original flat earth books and letters. Hoping to find some good reference material, I messaged him asking for recommended titles, and he told me a few choice books to check out. The full extent of our interaction consisted of a short Facebook conversation, yet curiously, after my book was published and the flat earth movement began growing, Paul began stating publicly that he was the Morpheus to my Neo, and that he taught me everything I know about the flat earth. He even made the ludicrous claim that my book was plagiarized from old Facebook posts of his. Matt Boylan also jumped in and had the gall to say that my entire book was plagiarized from his information, which is equally laughable considering he and his information are only mentioned in 2 paragraphs of my 252-page book. Needless to say, both of their claims are baseless and go to show how desperate they are to receive credit where it is not due. You can also see from this Google Analytics chart that the flat earth keyword had not made any significant change in 2011 since the launch of Matt's YouTube channel, nor in late 2013, early 2014 when Paul claims to have gotten his start. The moment when the flat earth tides shifted and the exponential growth of the movement began was clearly around and after November 2014, the exact month when I exploded all of my flat earth research onto the internet. In November 2014, I published the first pro-flat earth book written in 50 years, The Flat Earth Conspiracy. I also published several popular articles on the subject, uploaded the most popular flat earth conspiracy documentary on YouTube, began giving several radio interviews, and soon restarted Charles Johnson's IFRS, International Flat Earth Research Society. These simultaneous actions, my intentional exploding of credible flat earth information onto the internet all at once, which I had been preparing for the entire year before, are undoubtedly the catalyst behind the exponential growth curve seen beginning here. Later on, around March 2015, recent flat earth convert Mark Sargent came out of nowhere, began uploading new flat earth videos every day, uploading new interviews several times per week, got offered his own radio show, started being heralded by many as the king of flat earth, and credited with starting the modern flat earth revival. At first I was glad to have him on board until the cracks began to show and the clear disinformation campaign began. Mark claimed the moon and stars were holographic projections maintained by alleged dome builders who keep us inside a Truman Show enclosed structure, among much other nonsense. He even lied about me in several interviews, including one where he claimed that I promoted the idea of a constantly rising flat Earth to account for gravity, when in fact I constantly expose this false concept as being disinformation. So in conclusion, not only do I have publicly available proof of promoting flat Earth before any of these people, but I also have a much larger following and influence than all of them put together. My International Flat Earth Research Society receives over 50,000 visitors per month. My YouTube channel currently has 6.2 million views. My website has 8.6 million. Both my 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball and the Atlantean Conspiracy books have received over 1 million downloads each. Just 2 of my Google Plus accounts have a combined total of over 200 million views. Combine all this with my reach on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, StumbleUpon, Pinterest, etc., and my long-standing record of diligent activism, and it should be obvious who is the most responsible and influential person in causing the current Flat Earth revival. But, of course, if I dare to stand up for myself and say so, that's just my ego causing division in the movement, right?